speaker today, Scott Smith, who I've known for about a year. Just have a brief bio. Scott Smith is an energy worker, very dedicated to serving humanity through his gifts and talents. His studies have taken him on a mystical journey through many world religions, including Judaism, Catholicism, Hinduism, and Lakota tradition, and Buddhism, as well as the study of quantum physics. Working with divine love, divine peace, and other transformational energies, he has combined the core energetic elements common to these traditions and simplifying and unifying them into techniques for physical healing, emotional cleansing, and mental focus, spiritual expansion, and deep inner peace. His latest technique, which is life pattern reprogramming, is proving to be very helpful to people in differing ways. It allows a person to choose how they would like various aspects of their life to unfold. By participating in a series of simple guided processes, they reprogram themselves to allow these changes by dissolving the old patterns and habits, and also creating the propensity for the new way of being to manifest. Currently living in the Chicago area, he assists clients via phone and Skype sessions, webinars, and workshops. Scott is also available for individual in-person intensive sessions. Today he's going to share with us about the wonderful process of grace in our lives. So I invite you to welcome Mr. Scott Smith.
I guess I should turn that on first. Let's keep it here warm for you. For those of you who know me, you think it odd that I bring up the podium. But I bring it up sort of just to show you. Look at that. Look at that podium. Isn't that just graceful? Look at the way this altar cloth is just there. Isn't that graceful? Didn't Ty just show us an example of grace in the physical plane? How graceful. Grace is everywhere. Look at these stairs. Not so graceful in my opinion. They're just stairs. Useful, right? So what is grace? Oh, you thought I was going to tell you? What's grace?
Fluidity.
Fluidity. Movement.
My cat, her name is Grace.
Oh, okay. And there was a woman I met earlier, her name was Grace. Yeah, so grace has to do with movement, fluidity, and the way things move. Right? How many times has somebody gotten up here and told you that all there is energy? Right? I can't be the first. That's just such a basic truth. You have water vapor, and you slow down those molecules, and it becomes water. And you slow down those molecules, and it becomes ice. But it's still the same vibrating molecules. Right? All there is energy. In fact, E equals mc squared, right? So you do a little bit of algebra, and you get mass is nothing more than energy divided by this huge number, c squared. So that means that mass is nothing more than very slow-moving energy. That's it. Physicists have even discovered those little particles. They keep changing between energy and mass, and energy and mass. And now they're getting all upset because when they think it's one way, it makes it be that way, and they haven't figured out how to get themselves out of that equation to really observe it. Oh well, they'll figure it out or they won't. How does that relate to us? apply to us? What are our bodies made up of? Oh, there you go, you were listening. What else? What's the main physical component of our bodies? Water. Water. And what does water look like if you look at it in the terms of the molecule of water? It's a triangle. H2O. You got two H's and an O. That's a triangle. The most basic shape, of sacred geometry, of all geometry. Right? How powerful the triangle can be when you put it into something like a pyramid. Right? Pretty interesting, right? We take the triangle and we combine all the triangles we can put together until we can't get any more triangles together, and we end up with this 20-sided figure, which is the same thing as our light body. In sacred geometry, that's our light body, the icosahedron. 20 triangles is the most you can sort of like cram together like that. Right? Wow, it's all related and it's not. Well, if we're water, H2O, these triangles, then aren't we nothing more than one big, some of us bigger, crystals than others, right? Aren't we nothing more than a crystal? And if grace and God is nothing more than energy, and energy goes through a crystal, right? Isn't that how we have quartz radios? People remember that, right? All we have to do is allow that energy to come through our crystal. How simple. Why didn't anybody ever tell us this? But that's all it is. And you get to choose. How many people have taken a look at some of the photographs of Dr. Emoto's work? Anyone? Oh, good, you're very familiar. What an incredible scientific discovery that is. I say scientific because it was a spiritual discovery. What are we made up of? Water. And what happens to water when you tell it things like anger and what happens to the crystal? It looks all kinds of asymmetrical and nasty, right? You saw the photos. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Does that make sense to you now? That sounds like a unity kind of thing, doesn't it? Right? Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. That's not just some kind of something we sing or don't sing on a Sunday. It's real, it's true. It's a basic truth. So you get to choose, ever so Dr. Emoto style, what you're going to do to your crystal to allow stuff through or not. It's all choice. Isn't this place a free will choice kind of a place? Click, 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 click. So if when you're angry at someone else, does that affect your crystal? When you tell somebody how awful they are and they're never going to amount to anything, does that affect your crystal? Does it affect their crystal? And how long does it affect their crystal? Until they figure it out, the damage that was caused, and then they have to go through some kind of a healing themselves to fix it. Right? Heal it? Why? Who has the right? Who has the right to do that to somebody else's crystal? Or just on a crystal? That's it. So that's all that healing is. And when we take medicines from Western healing type stuff, doesn't matter. All that does is those chemicals affect the chemicals in our body, the physiology, and what do? They change the shape, the orientation of our crystal to allow the energy of disease to go through, or the energy of pain to go through, or not. Or you can choose. You can choose to allow the energy of pain to go through, the energy of misery to go through, the energy of sorrow, confusion, and all that nasty stuff. You saw the pictures. Go take a look at Dr. Emoto's pictures again. What do you want to choose for yourself? Simple enough. no more than that. Think about that. Every thought. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. And grace is something we can choose for ourselves, whether you call it Shakti, or Ki, or Chi, or the Holy Ghost, or the Holy Spirit. You think it cares? No, it's just energy flowing, and flowing energy is grace. So some of us need physical type energy to help us with physical kind of energy things that we did to our crystal, right? When we were unaware. When we were born into this body, it didn't really come with a manual. And most people don't read the manuals anyway. Right? So just choose. How about if we choose now? This is not like a diet. Diets always start tomorrow. And the choice is yours. You can choose today, right now, this very minute, this very second. Does that sound good? Who's with me? Yeah? Cool. Okay. So let's close our eyes. You don't mind doing more than one meditation. Isn't that what church is about? And this is not meditation anyway. This is an energy session. This is what I do. I help people reorganize their crystal to allow the energy through that they want, that they choose. I don't pick it for them. They pick it for them. Right? So close your eyes. It makes it easier to focus in. You don't want to close your eyes? Don't. It's a choice. Right? That's the old lead the horse to water kind of thing. And then choose to have your consciousness located in a place called the center of the core of being. The core of being is this amazing place. It's where your node is on the grid of humanity. It's where that still silent point is. That whole be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. Be still, be, right? That's that place. Choose it. It's just that simple. We make things into stories. We make things complicated. We make things unobtainable. Because we like the drama of it all. We think we might get bored. Well, let's go inside and see how not boring it is. Cool. So now, just ask. God didn't make it more difficult than that, people. Just ask. Why don't we all as a group just ask for divine grace right here, right now, and if you think that you can't, then you can't. So for those of you who are in that boat, I'm going to radiate out the frequency pattern, the bandwidth of divine grace. It's nothing more than energy. So allow me to radiate it out to you. And please breathe it in through your nose if you can, because then it goes up and around the sinuses, creating that infinity symbol around the eyeballs. Cool. And just fill the center of the core being with divine grace. The center of the core being is part of your energetic body, where all your chakras and markers and nadis and meridians and all these things we don't even know what they are there. Fill that now. Just allow it. It's just a choice. All you have to do is allow, choose, and ask for it. Could God have made it any more simple than this? And we create all that drama, all that nonsense? Not now, not in this moment, not here, not in this sacred space that we're creating. So now, as this divine grace is there in that center of the core being, as each of your molecules send each atom sends their subatomic particles shifting into the energetic state. Well, let's just use simple physics. Sympathetic vibration. You pluck a guitar string, the one next to it starts to vibrate. Ask William what an amazing talent he is. Thank you so much for your grace today, William. So each little subatomic particle is now picking up that divine grace inside. And if you choose, and if you allow, those subatomic particles can now carry that same vibration into every atom in your body when they turn back into mass. And I'm making it more complicated than it needs to be, just so that you can see how really ultimately easy it is. So now we have those molecules vibrating. I'm just doing a little energy correction in the room. God gave me the gift to see a little bit more. Good. So what happens if this energy of divine grace, this fluid, this movement of energy, goes through our DNA, and we allow it to repair, rejuvenate, reactivate our DNA right here, right now, in this moment. Cool, huh? How easy was that? And your RNA, and the mitochondria, and every cell in your body starts to vibrate. And then some of those cells become organs and glands, and you can focus on the ones where you need help. With divine grace, right here, right now. Easy peasy. So then it expands out into your whole physical body, into every cell, into the cellular memories, right? If you have patterns and habits and things like that, well, you can focus it into the thalamus and the hypothalamus. Fears, you can send it into the amygdala. Or you don't have to understand any of that. Just ask. Just ask. Right here, right now. Why not? Into every cellular memory, and into the emotional body, and the personality layers, and all the other layers and sublayers, and interconnected layers. Maybe your emotional body is all out of balance all the time, and it guides and directs and makes you choose things that you don't want to choose. Well, in the center of the core being, I command that all of my bodies immediately balance, align, center, and ground. And just allow this divine grace to keep radiating out. Keep radiating out into the emotion, into the mental body. Again, every one of these bodies has layers and sublayers and interconnected layers. And from the mental body into the causal body, and the astral body, the etheric body. Those are all the inner bodies that we all have to work with. Well, why not choose to work with some of the advanced bodies too, and allow this energy to expand outward into the Christ body, that beautiful dodecahedron, and into the light body, and into the radiant body, and into the ascension body. Every single person on this planet is about 55 feet in diameter. It's not a sphere, it's more of an egg shape. These are all approximations. We can get lost in all the detail, but we can't really ever really know. Just remind yourself of those 3 blind men and the elephant. one at the tail, one in the middle of the body, one at the trunk. Each one's perfectly right in their description, and each one is completely different. It just all depends on your perspective, how you're going to look at things. But isn't it amazing that we can choose divine grace right here, right now? Pretty cool, huh? You can choose to be the living embodiment of grace right here, right now. If only we could write a law and make all congressmen be this before they enact any laws. That'd be nice. And when you don't feel like this, go inside again and ask and be this living embodiment of grace. And I just want to thank all of you. Thank you so much for being this, for allowing this grace in, to allow that vibration to go through your bodies. How many people can feel their skin vibrating right now? Right? How many people are feeling things inside and in the heart chakra? Some people are feeling things open up more. But there's more to do today. So choose to do everything today in grace and see how it changes. Thank you again. Thank you so much for having me here. God bless.